So I found the next perfect restoration project for Brian Sailing. I think we can get it floating. We just need to convince the Swedish government to sell it to me. I'm Brian. Join the adventures as I share what I learned restoring a hurricane-damaged catamaran with the dream to sail the world. Last episode we left off, I had just finished the bulkhead and had taken a trip to Sweden. I've got a whole bunch of stuff done on the boat that I'm excited to show you, but first I want to share a few more things from Sweden. This boat that we're looking at here, the model in the foreground and the actual boat in the background is the Vasa. Yeah, a couple of Swedes told me when I was there that they weren't real proud of this because this is the exposition of one of the greatest Swedish nautical failures. This boat, when it had taken off, they launched it over 500 years ago. It sailed just out into the harbor and sank. It's amazing how well preserved this boat is after sitting on the bottom for like 500 years. And that's really the showcase of it. What happened was the naval architect who was designing it, he died in the process of the build. And they didn't put enough ballast in it, as well as they put the gun ports too low. So as soon as it hit the first breeze, the boat heeled over, took on water, and sank. Yeah, I totally need to get one of these babies for my boat. Keep them pirates away. When I put the gun turrets in my boat, I just need to remember, not so close to the water line. After touring the Vasa, we took a walk along the waterfront and also a ferry tour of the area. In these summer months, boating season was in full swing here in Stockholm. It's fun to be in Europe with all these buildings that are much, much older than I'm used to in the United States. A lot of cool bridges and fun stuff on the tour. I'd highly recommend it. One of the things that I really like about Stockholm and Sweden in general is a lot of open spaces, a lot of green spaces that makes it very nice. It was really fun to be out on the water with lots of boating activities and then to see all the different things that they have here in Sweden. They had a nice radio program on the boat where you can listen to all of the details of all the different buildings. One of the things that's interesting is they're replacing a lot of the industrial section with high-end housing and art galleries and such along. This building here is quite interesting. It looks like it should be the palace, and I think it's a little bit more majestic than the palace, but it's not the actual palace. Sweden was a lot of fun, a lot of cool stuff, but alas, it's time to get back to the boat work and get some stuff done. Pretty much the only thing I'm going to change on this interior layout is instead of having a bar here, I'm going to put a desk with maybe a nice chair, some additional seating like a recliner type of, not really a recliner, but an office chair, a nice office chair with an office desk here. And so that's pretty much the only change I'm going to make, which will mean this wall will get moved out and a few things. And then the washer dryer will probably be either shoved under the desk this way or turned around and put the other direction. So I'm going to work on that. Once I get that into CAD, I'll be able to cut that. I'll cut this bulkhead and the additional bulkheads, and I should be able to start finishing this back off and get this back into shape. Since I got back from Sweden, I've been going crazy fabricating on my CNC and installing the interior. So I've got this top. This is what they call the dressing room roof because the dressing room is under there. I've got this bulkhead in. I've got this bulkhead in. This one uses a puzzle joint across here. This new piece of subfloor is cut and in. That's one I designed because I'm changing how the floor works. Then back in here, this piece here is all new and all tabbed in. This piece over here is all new and tabbed in. So bulkhead is tabbed in, this roof is tabbed in, at least from the bottom side. So we're getting ready to really get this interior built out. I've got a whole bunch more pieces fabricated at home, or that I'm in the process of fabricating, so we can get this built. That includes some shelves for the closet in there, more bulkheads, and the desk that goes here. So when I went through here and designed the desk, so this is my desk that I designed. This is what the original looked like, with a bar here with a sink, and then the washer dryer would be in this cupboard, and then you had some different cupboards. Also, this other module was pushed back a little bit. So I'm going with this simpler desk here. There'll be a cupboard right here that gives you access to that, to some storage under there. This guy here is going to flip up because there'll be a garbage can there. And so I'll be able to have a garbage right there. And then this is set up for my office. It's kind of fun to think up an idea, draw it up in CAD, CNC cut it, fabricate it, and then install it and see how the finished product is. And so that's the way it is with this desk. And so here's the desk that I've got partially fabricated. It's really lightweight foam. Let's put it in place. I wanted a real office space. I have the nav desk, but I wanted a computer workstation. I mean, I'm a programmer. I draw things in CAD. I want to be able to sit at a desk with a desktop and really work. And so I needed that much more than I needed a bar. So that's what this is. Let's see what it looks like with the desktop on. So when you come right in the entryway here, you have this. This is going to flip up. I haven't decided to flip it this way or this way, probably this way. And that's going to be the trash can under there. That'll be a cupboard under there that'll open back. This will be the main desk here. Hopefully I'll have a better seat than an engine to sit on. That's the engine down there. So this will be the seat, and then a big, probably 34-inch monitor across here. I still have room for the TV up there. This insert here is designed so you can open up and the printer will sit in that hole there. I'll show you when it gets done. And then you have an additional, these will, they won't be drawers, they'll be flip opens. They'll flip down, that you'll get access to that, so that way you can kind of work with the monitor and shove stuff in the cubbies, like camera gear and whatever. Plenty of space. It's a pretty sweet deal. I like it. All right, now the hard part is I actually got to install it. Get it all level, squared, tab it all in. But it's amazing how lightweight this stuff is. I built the desk slightly oversized on the bottom, and then I used plywood formers to make the correct curve. And so once I had the height correct, then I would cut those off to get the desk to mount in place. Check out this old wooden Hinckley. Oops. Well, you know, if it was sailing Yaba, I'm sure that crew down in Brazil could fix it for him. I think there's that one board there. You could save that board and just rebuild the whole thing one piece at a time. With the band. They've been doing a very good job down at that boat, sailing Yaba down in Brazil. I watch their channel. It's awesome. The boatyard I'm in is a salvage boatyard, which means most of the boats that are here are probably headed for the landfill. It's kind of the yard of broken dreams. A lot of people also that might buy these boats think, okay, I'm going to fix it up, and then they just don't have what it takes to fix it up. And it eventually ends up in the landfill after sitting here for a lot of years anyway. But that's not always the case, and so I don't want to be a downer. If you have a dream, if you want to go for it, you can do it. And we're going to talk to someone else here at the yard who's also making his dream come true. What inspired you to even buy a sailboat and get started in this?
Well, I really YouTube videos. I mean, I see them watching people sail around and putting boats together. I actually found this boat online, and it was a total wreck, and they wanted a whole lot of money for it, and I wasn't going to mess with it. But everything about the boat I really liked, because I wanted a pilot house sailboat that had an actual pilot house, which this one does. And I also wanted a cutter rig for it. 79 pan Oceanic 46, and it was designed by Ted Burr, and it was built by Mayo Tall, if I'm saying that right or not, Mayo Tall yacht and lumber company in Taiwan. I knew it was way more than I wanted to really do. I really wanted to be done in like a year, and I've been at it almost 2 years, and probably will take 3 years before I'm actually totally done.
You know, when someone wants to embark on a project like this, what is it that you should say, that whether your boat's gonna, you know, whether you're gonna be successful or you're gonna fail at it?
Well, you're not gonna be successful if you don't want to do boat work, and it's not enjoyable for you to take something old and make it new again, or make it usable and look good again. Then you're not gonna stick with it, because it just takes too much money, too much time. You know, it takes a lot of dedication. If it's not a thrill for you to take something old, just like so far what we've done with this one and what you've done with yours, if that don't give you some enjoyment, then I would say go buy a boat already done.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest.
I don't think a free boat's going to be cheaper. I feel like in the long run that I'll get a boat for a good price that's going to be in really good shape. I kind of had an idea what the boat needed. I've been around boats enough to know what I was going to have to do. I knew I was going to have to place parts of bulkheads, and I knew I was going to have to tear out a bunch of this wood work that was damaged in here. I had a pretty good idea what I needed to do, although I found more, which you always do. It's kind of like the Pandora's box when you open one of these things up. But I think I totally underestimated the time it would take me to get it, you know, to get things done. I mean, I did do that, but I'm retired, so didn't enjoy it. But I would have. I mean, I still want to get to the other adventure at hand, you know, sailing and.
Speaking of adventures, stay tuned. Be sure to like, subscribe with notifications for lots of fun on the water and in the shop. By the way, people will be excited. I started cleaning the boat. So thanks again to Total Boat, Fiberglass Florida, and of course, all my patrons. Until next time.